we're going to talk about 3 time-saving tips. The very first one, it's interesting that we're treating, in my opinion, we're kind of treating Periscope different than we do other content that we create. Why can't we leverage a lot of the same techniques that we use on our traditional content in the same way here on Periscope? But the first tip is to leverage an editorial calendar. Guys, this doesn't have to be super duper hard. Go to Google, Google Calendars, set up a special calendar just for your Periscope content, and start using that. I think it's, again, really important that we start to organize ourselves as scopers here on Periscope, because otherwise you're sitting down and you're like, okay, what am I going to talk about today? Or, what kind of value am I going to bring? Go to Google. I mean, you don't have to have anything fancy to make this tip work, guys. Google is free. You can set up a Periscope calendar there and start organizing yourself so that you know what's coming. The calendar is such a great idea, guys. Get yourself organized, and then it won't be so hard, just like blog content. Treat it like it is blog content, in fact, except that you're getting on Periscope, you're public facing, but it doesn't have to be difficult. So definitely create an editorial calendar. So that's my first tip. And in order to fill up that calendar, let me give you a really great tip. As you're trying to brainstorm content for anything, whether it's your blog or whether it's, your Facebook post or your Twitter content, whatever it is, it's truly the same thing in the sense that, you have to start with a concept or an idea. And I think themes are great ways to focus in on, creating a editorial calendar for Periscope. So themes, when I say themes, I mean think about common things in your business. Maybe it's I'll just use my business for example. Social media. I help businesses drive more sales using the power of digital and social media. And so I may come up with a list. I may say, okay, Facebook is a theme, and I may just brainstorm it. Literally, guys, don't make this so difficult. Sit down and jot down, just free thoughts, things that you think about as it relates to that theme, and then those become topics for your Periscopes. So again, don't make it so hard on yourself. It doesn't have to be so hard. Come up with themes or concepts, and then free thinking, brainstorm those concepts, and then those ultimately can become themes or topics for your Periscopes. So that's number 2. All right, and once you set an editorial calendar, I saw somebody say they always change their mind. It's okay for you to change your mind, but at least you have something. Instead of like literally being at last minute, you need to do a scope. It's like a blog post. I used to do blog posts, and I still do, every Monday. And on Sunday evening, I'd be like, oh gosh, I got to have a blog post out tomorrow. What am I going to do? Once I got organized, and I had my things in line, and I knew in advance what I was going to talk about, then that made my life so much easier. Now, not to say that I don't come up with last minute content. Absolutely I do. But this is a great way to organize your content and, again, put yourself in a place where you're not last minute literally trying to scramble to come up with something to, come on Periscope with. So be smart with your content or your ideas. And sometimes this just literally takes an hour of your time. Whereas otherwise you're going to be, it's like sitting down in front of Facebook and saying, okay, what am I going to post today? Same concept. Don't put yourself in that place. And if you plan, then you have a business strategy behind it. I've often said here on Periscope that I have a strategy for every scope that I do. And you should have that. And with this in place, with an editorial calendar, with some common themes in place, then you can plan what you want from every scope that you have versus just randomly, getting out there and saying, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z today. So plan. A little bit of planning will take you a long way, I promise. Okay, and tip number 3 is, this is a biggie, guys, and one that so many people don't do. Read. I mean, spend time each and every day getting smarter on your niche. You know, I mean, there's all of us have a level of expertise, and I think that's true regardless of where you start. We all have something we know that someone else doesn't know. But if you're not constantly sharpening your mind, then, you know, you don't articulate it as well. You don't learn new things. You don't come up with creative new strategies. Read, and set aside time. I do it every day. You know, I'll take a look at, you know, some of my favorite blog posts or favorite bloggers that, you know, serve my ideal client. I am huge on reading my Bible. I read motivational information. You know, I am constantly reading. You need to fill up your tank, guys. Always be filling up your tank so that what comes out is a constant. Always you have something coming out, something positive, something new, something fresh. You get new ideas. You get better at articulating your own skill sets. So read. I cannot even begin to tell you. Audio is another great way. You know, if you have favorite podcasts, definitely tune into them. One of the things that I do, I have been actually rotating between my favorite podcast. Usually as I come to work in the morning, I'll listen into some of my favorite podcasts. And when I go home of the afternoon, I will usually listen, not watch, listen to a Periscope. So my favorite 3 tips are, or my top 3 tips for you is have a schedule. I think this is so important, guys. Get your topics ready in advance. I think that's another thing. You know, it's one of the things I'm doing now by adding the slides. Now, adding slides is not a necessity. Don't even have to even worry about that, guys. But it's so important, I think, to kind of give some visuals and or be prepared in advance, even if you have like a little cheat sheet for yourself. And then keep reading in your area of expertise. Garbage in, garbage out, good stuff in, good stuff out. All right, guys, I will see you later. Have a great day. Take care.